Hi, my name is Sarah and this is why I'm getting baptised. So I grew up in a non-Christian family and I wouldn't consider myself a Christian at all until I came to uni. And so before then I was kind of going out all the time and drinking, and I really struggled with my mental health to the point where I was in the hospital quite a lot in states of crisis, and I was kind of always being like sedated from being so anxious. It was really tiring and really overwhelming. And I didn't have a relationship with God at all, didn't believe in God, let alone have a relationship. Yeah, I was kind of just stuck, I think. And then I had a dream and God basically showed me, this is what your life will be like if you don't change. And it was really graphic, and I kind of won't go into it, but it was really graphic and really intense. And I saw that and thought, this is not what I want for my life at all. And it was a really big wake-up call of, you need to change immediately. And so I stopped drinking entirely, I stopped going out, I stopped everything that I was doing before, and I started going to church. I hadn't been before then either. And then since coming to church, I found God, became a Christian, and I have not been in the hospital since. I used to have panic attacks all the time when I first started coming, and I would sit in the hallway with Lynn, and I was too anxious to go into the room, so she would just sit with me in the doorways, which was quite sweet. And now I work for a children's mental health charity where I help anxious kids that are too anxious to go to school, and I feel like Lynn sometimes. I think what's different now is that before I was a Christian, I was anxious about everything, every single day. I can remember sitting in bed and my body like physically shaking at the idea of going to Tesco's, as if it's that deep. And now I'm fine. And I think what's really good about being a Christian and following Jesus is that I don't have to think about little things like that, because I have so much hope in everything that I don't have to sit and worry about the little things anymore. I used to be so anxious I couldn't talk to people about anything ever. Now I have so much strength, I can talk to people about everything, including Jesus, like my Uber driver, which was so cool. I was on the way to my MOT and I had to leave my car there. It was the one by Tesco, so a bit of a trek. So I dropped my car off and then I got an Uber back. And we just had kind of casual conversation. I was like, oh, MOT, whatever, boring. And then on my way to pick up my car, it was him again. And as I got in, he said, I've never had the same person twice in one day. I thought, that's fun. And he was looking in the mirror like a lot. And then he turned to me and he was like, you have a big cross necklace on, can you tell me about that? I said, I sure can. I said, well, what do you want to know? And he was like, so Christian family, let me guess, church your whole life, Christian everything. I said, wrong, not at all. And so I started talking to him about how I used to be so anxious and I really struggled, and since coming to church I haven't at all. And then he was kind of confiding in me about struggling with things mentally himself, and he was saying that he's a Muslim and was asking me questions about Jesus, because obviously Jesus is a prophet in their book. I was asking him questions back about his faith, and he was confused at one point because he said, I'm asking you questions about Jesus and the Bible. You can read the Bible and understand it. I can't understand my book. I need someone to tell me what it means. And we had got to the garage at that point. We were in his Uber outside the garage for half an hour, and he was just asking me so many questions. He was asking me about sinning and then becoming a Christian, and I was saying, God finds you as you are. It doesn't matter what you're like beforehand. We're friends now as well. I know, we're friends. We DM on Instagram, me and my Uber driver from like months ago, and he DMs me questions, and it's really fun, really cool. Isn't that cool?